Hey guys, it's Carter, and today I just wanted to provide you a quick market update, show you what I think is likely in the weeks to come, and towards the end of the year where I think the SPY is going to be at. Now it's trading at 612 today. I'm going to show you the levels I am watching closely, and ultimately how I am approaching this market right now. So without further ado, let's jump right into the action. So here on the SPY, we're trading at 612, and if we zoom in, we can actually see that since my last video put out right here, where I was calling for this gap to be filled in towards 570, we've actually just continued to grind higher. So the market, by grinding higher, has actually taken the path I called less probable in my last video, and we've actually broken above this ascending resistance level here, so I think it's actually a lot less relevant now. And we're off to our next resistance, which if you watched that last video, I said was probably going to occur around this fib extension here, around 617. So I said 617 would be the next level to watch on the SPY if we broke above that ascending resistance, and we in fact have done that. But I want to make something clear here. We have now rallied 27+% off this low right here in April. So in the last 3 months, a 27% move to the upside on the SPY without a really big correction. Now, I'm not calling for a big correction. However, I think it is probable that at some point in the next few weeks, we're going to see a bit of a correction. Maybe it's just a few percent, maybe it's 5 or 6. That's what I think is likely here. However, I think we're going to be near that level of resistance where a correction is about to occur. I think there's a lot of resistance above our head around the 620 level, just below that. So if we close above this previous all-time high pivot made up here in February of this year and close back below, that would be activating a bull trap, I would say, and that would likely lead towards the next move to the downside. So if we did that, I would expect the next move to the downside begin. And who knows, maybe we do end up filling this gap here or not and head down to 570. Maybe we don't. However, regardless if we do that or not, every pullback in the SPY right now, to me, for the rest of the year, is a buying opportunity for the rest of the year, or we hit a certain target to the upside that I'll share in the later part of this video. But nonetheless, every pullback to me is a corrective buying opportunity because I'm looking for higher prices. And I have a lot of conviction with that statement because of this capitulation signal that fired in April. Typically, when we've seen the signal fire in the past, the next 8 to 14 months after that signal fires, extremely bullish with very minimal corrections. So as long as we now don't break below this gap here at around 530, there's absolutely no red flags going off in my books. Why this gap here? Well, because I think if every pullback is a buying opportunity, we should probably find support at the golden pocket. And as it stands right now, it's right there with the gap. So there's some confluence at that level. I wouldn't really want to see that level be broken if we're remaining ultra bullish here on the SPY heading into the second half of this year. So as long as we're holding 530 to the downside, every single dip for the next 6 months will be a buying opportunity for me because I think higher prices are coming in the second half of this year. And I'm going to share the target where that kind of stops being true, where a buying opportunity on a dip is not actually so great, in my opinion. So what's that level to the upside where I think we should be a lot more cautious about saying every pullback is a buying opportunity? Well, it's this fib extension up here, and it sits around 643. So this target right here is where I think we're going to be at least in the second half of this year on the SPY. This is where I'd start to become more cautious about saying every pullback is a buying opportunity. However, I believe the SPY in the second half of this year has the potential to extend towards the middle to upper 600s. That's where I think the S&P is going to end the year, or sorry, the SPY is going to end the year, and that's where I'm looking to target, but I'm going to become a lot more cautious. Once the 643 target, I've mentioned the 645 level on this channel a lot before. The 643 level is where I'm going to start being a lot more cautious about saying every pullback is a buying opportunity because I think we'd be heading close to the top. Right now, in this market environment, every pullback is a buying opportunity, in my opinion, until we head to this level or drop 530. All right, that's all I have in this video. Stay safe in this market. Don't be surprised if we see some sort of pullback in the next handful of weeks. Take care. Adios.